What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Monday. AMC up almost 15% intraday high. Currently, it's up 11% as I'm looking at the charts right now. I do want to mention in this video what happened last week. Following on a Tuesday, we had Wanda's hard sell-off. Some people have been reaching out to me a little bit skeptical about tomorrow just because there's been a few weeks where Monday is a strong run-up, I should say, followed by a heavy shorting on Tuesday and really bringing the price down. However, guys, last week was completely different. We had to gobble up, what was it, 30 million shares, which we did insanely strong. From a high to low, it was a 20% swing, and that included additional shorting, okay? So what I want to talk about, what is going on right now behind AMC, is something that also piggybacks the video that I made on Saturday. And if you haven't watched it, please go take a look. It has to do with options in the increasingly and alarmingly amount of options that expire out of the money. So I wanted to take a look at bar chart, and also we're going to dive into the charts just to see exactly where AMC lies. I do want to mention that the SEC had suspended the dark fibers on the dark pool trading as of today. Should go into effect. I've been monitoring some of the volume as a comparison to where the price action. I might see a very minimal decrease in volume. However, nothing too surprised. And I know people have mentioned that. That's something you just want to take one with a grain of salt, and also take a step back and wait for enough activity to happen before you can really analyze the effect it might have had. Also want to mention the fact of the FTDs plus 21 having to be covered today, and the FTDs plus 35 having to be covered tomorrow. That we're going to have to see exactly what happens tomorrow to see how much that affects the price action, guys. But in the end, just relax. We are only on Monday. We're coming out of the gate strong. And like I said, always take a bird's eye view of exactly where we lie. Don't get too anxious on this. For those of you that have been in this play, with me, follow me for as long as you have. We're going on, what are we going on, like 4 months here, guys? It seems at 1 second, it seems like it's been an insanely long time. And another second, it seems like it's awesome, flied by. But let's get rolling into this, guys. First off, I do want to mention the crypto market capitalization is coming back a little bit. We're approaching that 1.6 trillion market cap after, I think it was almost about a 50% retracement from highs, which was absolutely crazy. A little bit of speculation about what's going on. I do see big banks and institutions selling off some of their positions. I wouldn't say really to say it's to prepare for a margin call, as it would be, what would be more logical is to be able to raise capital for liquidity requirements. They're definitely going to do everything in their power they can to make sure they don't get a margin call. Okay, so that is a good sign to see. Also, anything to where we can help simmer down some of the fear. The market, the NASDAQ is coming back ripping today, the S&P as well. Some of the money will start to shift back into the tech. All right, there are cycles. For those of you guys that have been following me, the cycles with the tech. Tech was on an insane run in 2020, all the way up until February 11th, and it got absolutely butchered. Money will start to shift back over into the tech sector. However, it normally does stay pretty stagnant for a good 6 months after a large run. This is just going back on my last 10 plus years of investing in the stock market and watching the tech sector, and know how it runs. It stays stagnant, then it has its crazy rips, might sell off a little bit, then it stays stagnant for a while. But overall, the NASDAQ has just continued to really crank out ever since, it came back off its, the internet bubble in 1999, as well as we did have the '08 huge pullback. But like I said, that has just continued to move forward. But let's get into AMC, guys. And then I really want to talk about what I also mentioned on Saturday too. So first off, guys, AMC up a little under 11% as we're seeing intraday. Volumes at 80 million. I would say it's kind of, that's where I mentioned what could be happening on the dark pools, and that volume would be a little bit lower, but it's only a small amount as you compare this the days prior, seeing a very similar price action. Okay, now one thing I did want to cover, guys, is what happened on Tuesday, and everybody's, oh God, what's going to happen on Tuesday? Guys, Wanda started unleashing, and this is completely public knowledge, we've already covered this before, they started unleashing a large amount of their 30 million shares, okay, on that day, the 18th, pre-market. They posted that they sold it in the high 14s. Well, that's the only time the price was in the high 14s that had any downward pressure. They didn't really sell it after hours because you could see it insane upward pressure. But that definitely where it started on pre-market. Also gave more shorts available to be able to hammer this price down. If you look at where we're at today, there isn't much shorting going on. And if it is, the effect is minimal. It's happening much less. Okay, we're stagnating around that 1350. We should look like it was going to bounce a little bit of support around that 1353, 1355. Fell a little bit below that. We'll see where we end up at the end of the day. What you see from the charts before, you know the first couple hours of the day is the most bullish price action. And then also what is going to happen after hours. Because lately, after hours is beginning to surprise us on a few days that are bullish. It really seems to continue some of the trend. Okay, so that's what I'm going to keep an eye out for. Last thing I want to mention, I happened to jump over to bar chart, guys, and I saw this. It was there's still a high amount of options volume happening for AMC. So one thing I want to mention, guys, is if you're going to be buying options, if you're going to be swinging for the absolute fence, use a small dollar amount to swing for the fence, because you would do much more for the price action if you actually bought the stock. Okay, if you didn't watch my last video, guys, I'll link it, but I'll link it down in the description, so no matter where you're at, you can go see it. But go check it out, and it just really goes for the amount of money being thrown away on options that expire out of the money. So one thing I will mention is when I went over to this chart right here, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the change in open interest. Went over to this chart right here. There wasn't much happening for AMC as far as the change in open interest. So nothing alarming that's coming through that could be potentially expiring too early. All right, because when you expire too early, that's when the theta absolutely kills you. I did see there's a nice $16 call that has a good amount of options, a change open interest, but that's all the way out till July 16th. And then we also have down here, it's the $40 June 18th. This one has been trending for a little while, but if you scroll even further, guys, there's not much happening. Okay, so I definitely want to say I hope some of you guys did, take some of the advice that I did mention in my last video. If you haven't seen it, guys, go check it out. And just remember, when you are buying options, make sure you give yourself enough time, okay, as well as not just looking for a specific price at a specific deadline, because chances are you are going to lose. All right. So ultimately, guys, 1, take a look at that video. 2, it's only Monday. Prepare for after hours. If you normally check out of the day at 4 p.m., which would be Eastern time, hang around a little bit longer, set some alerts to be happening on your phone so you can really get to see what happens, because this week I'm still anticipating to be a phenomenal week. And just remember, guys, what happened last Tuesday, that's out of the park for us. That's not on the playing field. All right, Wanda unloaded 30 million shares. Maybe it was only, I think it was 11 million that day, but still, it's an insane amount of shares to unload. That's where a huge bit of that selling pressure happened. All right, so keep that in your mind. I'm not saying tomorrow is going to be a green day. All right, I do consider to see more bullish action happening. If you look at all the indicators, which I know some of those really get thrown out of the equation because of what's going on with AMC. But hang tight, guys. Happy Monday. We're up over 10%.